Okay, so this is basically the second part of exercise 4.1, the video on exercise 4.1. So I stopped at 3a, I concluded question 3a. So now we're going to go with 3c. Okay, there's no 3, yeah, 3c. Okay, so in each of the following cases, M is the midpoint of line segment PQ, alright. Okay, so this is a scenario we have here. P is going to be 6 and minus 2. Q is x and y. And M is negative 6 and 5. Okay. So again, we know the midpoint formula. So x1 plus x2 over 2. That lends some equally. That will give you the x mid. Okay. And y1 plus y2 over 2. Once you calculate that, it will give you the y mid. Okay. But if this is x1, y1, this is x mid, y mid, x2, y2. Okay, because those are the endpoints there. Alright. So you say 6 plus negative 6 over 2 is equal to, no, that's not correct. I was going to say 6 plus x over 2 is equal to negative 6. Negative 2 plus y, y1 plus y2 over 2 is equal to y mid, which is 5. Okay. So what I do is I cross multiply. So 6 plus x times 1 is 6 plus x. 2 times negative 6 is negative 12. So x is negative 18. Okay. Here I cross multiply. So negative 2 plus y is equal to 10. Okay. So y is equal to 12. So x is negative 18 and y is negative 12. Okay, that was for 3c. Okay. So I'm going to do D4, I'm going to do number 5. I'm just going to throw it quickly. Okay, so for number 5, we are told that x, which is negative 4 and negative 3, y is 8 and 1, and z, which is negative 2 and 5, are vertices of triangles. This is the points that meet of triangle x, w, y. The question says calculate the coordinates of P, the midpoint of x, y. Okay, so P would lie here somewhere. So for the midpoint, I'm going to say x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. This is for the midpoint. Okay, so it's going to be negative 4 plus 8 over 2, negative 3 plus 1 over 2. So that is simply going to give us, it's going to give you 4, which is 2, and this is going to be negative 2, which is negative 1. Okay, that's 2 and negative 1. Really, number two say, oh sorry, the B part, this is A, the B part. The question says the length of ZP in the simplified third form. ZP, so in other words, is this length here. So ZP, the distance formula, is the square root of x2 minus x1 squared, y2 minus y1 squared. Okay? So if you make this x1, y1, x2, y2, so that would simply be x is 2 minus minus 2 squared plus negative 1 minus 5 squared. So that is simply the square root of 4 squared, which is 16, plus negative 6 squared, which is 36. That is going to give us the square root of 40 is 52. I think 4 goes into 52. 1 carry 1, 13 times, so it's 2 root 13. If I made any errors, you can let me know on that number. Otherwise, these videos are free. Okay. I'm just going to check if this is correct. I don't always trust my head. No? Okay, it's correct. I feel better. Let's look at number 7. Okay, so now we're looking at number 7. In number 7, we tell that A, which is negative 2 and 3, B is 5 and 6, C is 2 and negative 1, and D, which is X, D and YD, are vertices of parallelogram ABCD. The diagonals AC and BD meet at P. Determine the coordinates of P, the midpoint of AC. So for the midpoint of AC, it's simply going to be x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. Okay, so that is going to be minus 2 plus 2 over 2, y1, so there's going to be 0 over 2, which is 0. 3 minus 1 is 2, which is 1. So P is going to be 0 and 1. Okay. Then we are told in the B part of the question that P is also the midpoint of BD. Okay, so now we're working in the reverse now. We got the midpoint and we can working out an endpoint. So we know that XD plus x2 over 2 is equal to the x midpoint. Y1, which is YD, plus Y2 over 2 is equal to Y mid. Okay. Importantly to note here is that there's many ways of calculating the fourth vertex of a parallelogram. Many ways. Okay, this is just one of the ways. There are easier ways. Okay, but we're working at what we have at hand, which is the midpoint formula. So at this point, we got xd plus 5 over 2 is equal to 0. Yd plus 6 over 2 is equal to 1. So what do I do now is I cross multiply. So xd plus 5 is equal to 0. So xd is equal to minus 5. On the other end, cross multiply here. So yd plus 6 is equal to 2. So yd is equal to minus 4. So therefore, the coordinates of D is negative 5 and negative 4. Okay.